Hi video shooters, get ready for a workout today. We are running with the camera, but the shots are going to be silky smooth and rock steady because I've always loved to film with the camera on the move. But you already know the challenges that come with running or walking with the camera. The trick is always to keep it steady. I've used my fair share of gimbals. I've used them enough to know that the FeiyuTech MG is one of my favorites. It's small and lightweight, so I can easily pack and bring it along with me on my adventures. It's also super quick to set up and use, but the best thing about it is it's got no temper. So yeah, it won't mess up when you're in the middle of a scene. I never had to whip out the app and start fiddling with it. Think of it as your faithful assistant. The MG2 also has various operating positions for your shooting style. I'm already in love with it. Let me show you what comes in the package for the FeiyuTech MG. So it comes in a case like this. So I'll open it up, and over here you see the main components. This is the actual MG gimbal itself. What's in the other compartment? So we've got the warranty card and the user manual. Now, in this pack here, you will find your USB cable, but more importantly, you will get your two screws. Now these guys are pretty darn important, so keep them well. These guys attach to the base plate to secure your camera's left and right position. This is the gimbal itself. Thumb screws for securing the camera to the gimbal. Batteries with a set of spares. The connector. The handle and also battery compartment. Hand grips and crossbars. Video shooters, I will now show you how to set up your MG gimbal with the most basic configuration. So I will take the handle here and I will put in the two batteries like so, and then I will just attach it to the MG itself. Okay, so we've got our basic configuration here. You will need to attach the two screws onto the threading over here to secure the base plate's left and right axis. Okay, so this screw will secure your camera's front and back balance, while these two screws secures the left and right balance. So there you go. I hope this video tutorial was helpful to you video shooters. Support us by subscribing to our channel and liking our videos. We hope you'll have lots of fun with your MG gimbal. So gear up and shoot it great! What's up video shooters, I'm Baron, and in this tutorial we will explore the various configurations of the MG 3-axis handheld gimbal from FeiyuTech. This is a versatile gimbal that lets you shoot in your favorite operating mode. Okay, let's gear up! Video shooters, I will now show you how to switch the gimbal's configuration from the basic one handle setup to an upright or underslung mode. Firstly, I will need to detach the handle. Next, I will attach the connector into the handle
Take note that this ring goes on the connector with the threading facing into the connector.
And then I will attach it like this.
And then I will tighten the connector to the handle. Rotate the ring and the connector to tighten. Work them together so that the connector ends up in the position that you like.
I know in the manual it says that this handle over here goes to the front of this, like this. But if I were to hold my gimbal this way, and this is pointed towards me, if I'm on a vehicle, there is a sudden deceleration in speed, this has the potential of hitting me. And that's very dangerous, so I don't want this handle to be sticking out towards me. How do I know it's towards me? Because the joystick is facing me, so that's towards me. So I want this handle with the batteries on the other end. So I will remove this and I will take this out and switch it to the other side. The guys at FeiyuTech call this the connector. Keep in mind, for safety reasons, I want this area which accommodates the handle to be facing away from me. So I'll lock it up in this way. Okay, stand by. In 3, 2, 1. Okay, move. I will take a crossbar and kind of slot it in here, and then I will lock it into place. You don't really have to tighten this real hard because this connection fits so well, it holds on real securely. So just a token tighten will do, you don't have to do it real hard. If not, you'll have a hard time trying to remove it. Now, I will begin to put the hand grips here. So this hand grip goes in this way. Okay, I'll give it about 2 fingers distance. You might want to have the locking system facing you like this, so it's easier for you to loosen or tighten it when you're changing your configuration from underslung to upright, for example. So video shooters, when you're in a field and you want to leave your gimbal down on the ground for a bit, loosen this part of the hand grip like this, lock it up if necessary, and then you can leave your gimbal on the ground like this. See, I can leave it on the ground like that, so you don't really need like a tuning stand or a docking bracket. This part of the handle that faces away from you, it can also act as a stand to complement the other 2 hand grips so that the gimbal sits securely on the ground. Thanks for watching this tutorial, video shooters. I've been using a variety of gimbals for a while, and here's my advice. No matter which brand you use and in whatever operating mode, keep the gimbal close to you. Keep your arms close, and at the widest, keep them at shoulder width. This reduces stress on your muscles, helping you operate longer and giving you better control of your gimbal. One more advice, check your posture and keep your back straight and your shoulders back. We hope you'll have lots of fun with your MG gimbal. Support us by subscribing to our channel and liking our videos. So, gear up and shoot it great! I'll tell you straight up, video shooters, this is the most important topic of the video tutorial series featuring the FeiyuTech MG 3-axis handheld gimbal. The camera balancing is the very core of smooth gimbal operating and is a strong factor in the longevity of your gimbal.
With that said, let's gear up. The most ideal way to place your camera onto a gimbal is by having it in neutral balance. When a camera is neutrally balanced on the gimbal, I can point it at any angle and it will stay that way. This will reduce stress on the gimbal's motors and give you a longer battery life.
Video shooters, I'm now going to show you how to balance the Sony A7S Mark II or equivalent payload camera onto your MG. So I need to loosen this screw here and this screw here and move the stage over here, move the base plate further out a bit. Okay, now let's attach the camera. I've already attached the screw to the camera's threading. So we need to achieve the perfect balance over here. When I let go of the gimbal, the camera should just stay in place. Now let's settle the front and back. And the camera is falling forwards. So I will move the camera back a little bit. Front and back seems to be back heavy a little bit. So I'm going to shift it forwards. Okay, that will do for now. And then I will, see, I'm just going to lock this guy here. Now, these are the screws that manage left and right.
Let's see how the camera behaves. Oops, the camera is falling over to the left. To keep the camera balanced in the center, I have to move the camera to the right to compensate.
There you go. Once you got it more or less in balance, make sure to tighten the screws, tighten it up. There you go. So this looks like to be perfect balance. So this is great. It's a successful outing with the ATV adventure, and I'll show everyone back in the studio how we use the FeiyuTech MG gimbal. I'll see you back soon. One of the best things about the MG gimbal is instead of continuously fiddling around with the two screws here to slide it left or right to maintain the perfect balance, I can actually loosen this part of the motor and shift the entire payload left or right. See this area here? I grip it and I'm going to loosen it. So this is loosened. Now I'm going to shift the whole weight. You see? So the camera now is drastically off balance. So I can shift it back to balance by moving this guy. Now it's the other way. It's off balance to the left. So I'm going to shift it again. Shift it until I find perfect balance. Alright, so I'm going to lock this guy up. So this looks like a perfectly balanced camera, am I right? The camera doesn't slide forward, it doesn't slide backward, it doesn't shift its weight to the left or shift its weight to the right. Now this, although looks to be a perfect balance, it's still not there yet. This is called the tilt. Tilt is not balanced well. Look at that. We have perfect balance with the roll. The camera ain't rolling left or right. But the camera is not perfectly tilt balanced. There is a threading over here. So we're going to loosen this bit near the motors. And then we can shift the entire weight up. See that? I can move it down or shift it up. So let's say I shift it all the way up. Let's see what happens. Okay, so now the camera is too top heavy. If I were to tilt the camera down, it should stay that way. So let's try and achieve that. Okay, let's see. So see that? The camera doesn't want to correct itself. The camera doesn't want to correct itself. It stays in a position that I specify. So now it's pointed right ahead. If I were to tilt it up a little bit, it stays that way. Okay, so by doing this kind of balance, you're actually reducing stress on the motors. So the gimbal doesn't have to work so hard to correct your camera's level. And bye. In 3, 2, 1, action! Well, video shooters, here we have a neutrally balanced camera.
This means the camera stays in the position that you set. It will not move about but remain in the angle that you specify. Having the camera in neutral balance means that your gimbal will not be struggling so hard to keep your camera level, and this will mean a longer battery life for your shoots.
Now, all that remains to be done next is to turn on the gimbal itself. It will flash green and then it will just be blinking blue.
Now that the gimbal is turned on, I'm using the joystick or rocker to move my camera about.
Looks good. See what happened there? We took great care to balance the camera properly before even turning on the gimbal. That's how important this step is. I hope you will have great fun with your camera and the MG gimbal. Support us by subscribing to our channel and liking our videos. You know what's next. Gear up and shoot it great! When you're out there having fun with your MG gimbal and shooting smooth, stable videos, it could go one of two ways. You're simply too happy to care, or you may want to fine-tune the settings of your gimbal such as the yaw or panning speed, or even widen the dead zones. The app called feiyu will help you to easily do this from your smartphone. It's really simple to use. So, let's gear up and do this.
Look at this crazy scene here. Your camera is shaking off the hook. This could mean your camera is a bit too heavy or your gimbal's motor strength isn't set up properly. Here's another set of problems. Vibrations.
Can you hear the vibrations going on in the motors? I will show you how to correct it. Now, in this case, the vibration comes from the tilt motor. This guy over here. This vibration is because the camera is too light and there's just too much torque in the motors over here. So we'd like to reduce the torque or the power that is sent through these motors. You can always use the MG app. So FeiyuTech has an app here. So I will use my smartphone and I'm going to activate the app. So I'm going to click here to select the proper gimbal. Alright, what we have here, this is the MG series. I'll click on MG. It will ask you which MG are you selecting. Okay, ours is MG version 2. So I'm going to click connect. Make sure your Bluetooth is on so it will connect to your gimbal. And it's reading my parameters, it's loading everything in. First thing you will be faced with is the joystick. This is the virtual joystick. Click on the button over here to bring up more of the settings. Alright, I'll click on setting. We want to adjust the motor strength. So I'll click on motor strength. So you'll access the motors on the gimbal. We have 3 motors. This would be the one at the bottommost, which is controlling the panning. And this one over here controls the roll. And this is the one that controls the tilt. A lot of torque has been applied to the motor and the camera is too light, so now it's vibrating.
So I'll go to the motor settings. I'll reduce the motor strength of the motor in question. I will turn down the motor strength by a lot because I know this is the right setting for this camera. I'll save the settings and there you go. The vibrations are gone.
3, 2, 1, go!
Now back to the scene of the trembling camera. This could mean the camera is almost over the payload limit, or the gimbal can handle the weight. You just need to give more strength to the motors. Firstly, find out which of the 3 motors is not getting enough power. Go back to the feiyu app, go into the motor settings and just pump up the strength for that motor. That should do the trick. Your trembling camera will now be stable again as the motors get to work.
Remember to readjust the power to the motors when you've changed a lens or focal length that may affect the balance of the camera on the MG gimbal. Thanks for watching. Support us by subscribing to our channel and liking our videos. Enjoy using your MG gimbal. Go out there, gear up and shoot it great! Welcome back video shooters. If this is your first visit to our tutorial series on the FeiyuTech MG 3-axis handheld gimbal, my name is Baron and I've previously explained about the MG gimbal app called feiyu On. This app will let you fine-tune the gimbal settings via your smartphone. In this episode, we will explore what is lock mode versus follow mode and how do you toggle between the two. Alright, let's gear up! Let's look at how the MG gimbal operates. If I were to hold the gimbal and I were to do a pan, look how the camera points straight ahead. The camera does not pan with me. If I were to tilt, whichever direction I move the handles, the camera will always lock to one direction. So this is called the lock mode. I'd like to activate the follow mode. To do that, I will press the power button twice. So that's 1, 2, and look at the LED. It's flashing. So that means it's already in follow mode. So in follow mode, this is what happens when I pan. See how the camera follows the direction that I'm moving? Look at that. Now what about for tilt? The camera tilts up, following the direction of where I'm moving. Right, so this is the follow mode. So this is my favorite mode. I normally use this mode all the time. To go back out into lock mode, just press the button once. So you're in lock mode.
Hi video shooters, we are now in Panko Island and I'm going to test out the new FeiyuTech MG gimbal and we're going to use the ATVs to do all this. It's quite an adventure. See you guys soon.
Although my personal preference is follow mode, there are times when lock mode can come in handy, particularly when you want to replicate a slider shot. I hope our tutorial has been helpful to you. Support us by subscribing to our channel and liking our videos. Have fun using your MG gimbal. As always, gear up and shoot it great! Hey there video shooters! When I first heard these two terms, I was as puzzled as you are. In this episode, I will help you unravel the mysteries of the dead zone and follow speed. Alright, let's gear up! You can always use the MG app. So FeiyuTech has an app here, so I will use my smartphone and I'm going to activate the app. So I'm going to click here to select the proper gimbal. Alright, what we have here, this is the MG series. I'll click on MG. It will ask you which MG are you selecting. Okay, ours is MG version 2. So I'm going to click connect. Make sure your Bluetooth is on so it will connect to your gimbal. And it's reading my parameters, it's loading everything in. First thing you will be faced with is the joystick. This is the virtual joystick. Click on the button over here to bring up more of the settings. Alright, I'll click on setting. So we've got the follow mode setting. We can choose our dead zone. Okay, and this is the follow speed. So this is for panning axis. And then you've got your tilting axis adjustments. So again, you've got your follow dead zone and your follow speed. Now let's explore the dead zones and the follow speed. So what do they mean? I'm going to switch my camera again to follow mode. 1, 2. So it's in follow mode now. Alright. So this is what dead zone means. Earlier on you saw there was only a 20 degree of a dead zone. So within that 20 degree of the dead zone, the camera will not follow your movements. By panning the gimbal within the 20 degrees of dead zone, the camera will not react and it will not follow my movements. But once I get out of that 20 degrees, observe how the camera reacts and follows accordingly. So that's what a dead zone means. What if I were to set that to higher? Let's say a 45 degrees. And now my follow speed, instead of my usual 30, which is kind of slow and I like it that way, now let's set the speed higher to 100. Let's see what happens then. The camera is not responding. It's not going to follow me until I've gone past the 45 degrees. So this is about 40, there, look. The camera responds and the movement was really fast. So no response, no response, no follow, no follow, no follow, 45 and it follows, right? So there was a sudden jerk. Look at that. There was a sudden jerk in the movement. So I don't really like that kind of speed, which is at the maximum, which is 100. I prefer mine to be much slower. My ideal setting for the panning axis follow dead zone would be about 20 degrees. And my ideal setting for the follow speed, I don't want it to be so fast. I want a slow follow or a slower speed. I'll set mine to about 30. There you go. This would be my setting. Did you get all that? I hope our video tutorial has helped you understand what those two terms mean because they are so prevalent in gimbal operations. Support us by subscribing to our channel and liking our videos. Have fun getting stable videos with your MG gimbal and remember to gear up and shoot it great. Camera roll.